Hi guys, it's Carol. How are you? I'm doing pretty good. I live in a big apartment complex and our mailboxes are way at the front and I very seldom get mail. So I may go 2 or 3 times a month to pick up my mail. Well, I went Saturday and I had like a stack like this of envelopes from different insurance companies wanting my business during Medicare pre-enrollment time or whatever it's called. Open enrollment, that's what it is. Anyway, I'm not telling you what insurance company to go with or to have Medicare or don't have Medicare or nothing. I'm not telling you nothing except what I've got. And I have Humana Medicare Advantage. Well, I am excited. I got a letter from them, and starting January of 2023, vaccines will be zero, no cost to me, including the shingles vaccine. Now that's why I'm excited. I've always wanted the shingles vaccine, but Medicare didn't cover it unless they've changed the rule recently. I didn't have an insurance company that would cover it, and it cost several $100s to get a shingles vaccine. So I wanted one because I know shingles can get to be really, really bad, but couldn't afford to buy it, the vaccine. So I was excited to get this. If you take insulin, you won't pay more than $35 for a 1-month supply. I don't need insulin, so I don't know too much about that. But that's the two changes they're talking about in this letter. So, yay, I get to go get a shingles vaccine. Pardon me. I made 2 videos today for you. I don't know anything to tell you, so I was going to tell you about, I was telling you about the dogs I've had since Fred, my first schnauzer, on. I was going to tell you about Zoe. The first video I made, I wasn't even near the middle of my story, and it was 36 minutes long. Nobody needs a 36-minute long video about me and my dog. So I deleted that one, and I made another one. Well, it was 20 minutes long when I noticed how long it was getting to be, and I deleted that one. So I'm trying to give you the abbreviated version. Zoe was my dog that was half Schnauzer, half Beagle, not related to these dogs. We got her in an Albertsons parking lot. A man was there in his truck, and he had a laundry basket full of puppies. They looked like little bitty teddy bears. They were so cute. She, at that time, when she was 6 weeks old, she was all dark brown, almost black. But eventually, she became kind of a dirty blonde looking dog. She didn't look like a Schnauzer or a Beagle. Casey says she had the Beagle body, but longer legs, and that she has Beagle ears, but they were a little short for a Beagle ear. And she just looked like a Heinz 57 dog, but she was sweet as she could be. I loved Zoe. Zoe hated baths, but bless her heart, she got to where when I'd say, we got to take a bath, she'd mosey to the bathroom and jump in the tub by herself. She weighed, I don't know how much she weighed, like 40 pounds or something when she was fully grown. It was kind of hard for me to get her in the tub, and she'd just jump in there by herself. When we got her, I still had my white Schnauzer, Max. I thought he needed a friend. We took that puppy home. Max was on the couch, and we were down on the floor with the little puppy playing with it. He was terrified. He would not get off the couch. I mean, I had to put his leash on it and drag him off to take him outside. He was not going to get off the couch as long as that thing was in the house. But finally, Casey brought Andy over, and Andy was playing with the dog, and it was like a light bulb went off. Oh, you play with that thing. Then Max decided she was tolerable. They never were great friends, I don't think. But anyway, Zoe was a good girl. If you believe in spiritual things, spirits and things like that, in my playlist, you go down, I've got a playlist about I don't know if it's called Spirits or whatever, but anyway, there's a story about Zoe in there. But anyway, that's, I'm at 5 minutes. I'm doing good. I'm not at 36 minutes. When Zoe was maybe, I'm going to guess 6 months old, I was going to get her spayed. And in the town where I live, you can go to animal control and pay for a coupon to get spay or neutering at a greatly reduced price with certain vets that would accept that coupon. So Casey and I went out to animal control, and Casey stayed in the car. I went in to get this coupon, and there was the cutest little black schnauzer running all over the office. She had just been groomed. They have volunteers that would come groom the dogs and clean them up, give them a bath, in hopes that somebody would want to adopt them. Well, she had been groomed, cute as she could be, starved to death. I have never seen such a skinny dog. Her little hip bone stuck up, and the skin dipped in between her hip bones. That's how skinny she was. I mean, it was pitiful. Anyway, I was talking to the lady, telling her that I'd had schnauzers for years, and, you know, yada, 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 talking about it. And she said, yeah, that tomorrow morning's her last day. She will be put down tomorrow. Amarillo has the biggest problem with overabundance of animals. People don't get their dogs and cats spayed or neutered. They let them just have puppy litter after puppy litter. Animal control has a hard time just keeping up. In fact, I found the stats for 2021. In Amarillo, it gave the monthly stats for 2021. There was a total of 7,743 cats or dogs that went through the doors at animal control. A good percentage of them were adopted or taken, mostly taken by rescue groups that work with Amarillo and pick up dogs and take them to places like Colorado. I know they take a lot of dogs to Colorado where people don't have this stray dog problem and find homes for them through rescue groups. But anyway, 7,743 was the intake number of cats or dogs, cats and dogs, to animal control in 2021. The best I could tell, 39% of those were put down. Animal control can't hold 7,743 dogs. They hold a cat or a dog for 3 days, and if they're not claimed or picked up by a rescue group, or if they're not microchipped where they can call the owner, if they're not adopted within 72 hours, they are euthanized. Horrible. It's a horrible situation. Well, anyway, this little black dog's last day was going to be the next morning. I could not leave that little black schnauzer there. I'm sorry, my nose always itches when I'm making a video. My sister says, who are you sending a secret message to? My nose just itches as soon as I have the camera go up. So I adopted her. Adoption fees are really low because they want people to take the animals, you know. And I told her I just couldn't leave a schnauzer there. I had to take her. And she said, well, there's a gray schnauzer in the back too. She said, come on back, I'll show you. It's a big building with, I don't know how many dog runs, but a lot of dog runs, like cages, cells, I want to call them. And it's a cement floor. Then there's a doggy door that goes out in the back part of the dog run where they can get outside, but it's not very big. Anyway, it was November. I remember because we were in the middle of a bad snowstorm. It was freezing cold. And the thought of those two little schnauzers sleeping on that cold concrete floor. At the end of the hall, I could see a heater that they had going, but it didn't heat up much. Anyway, I adopted both of them, mostly because that little black dog was so skin and bones. I thought, at least I can do is pay the adoption fee. When you do that, they immediately take them to a vet they have a contract with who will spay or neuter them. And then you can go, you can't take them home. You can't take them home until that's happened. And so then the next day you can go pick them up. Or whenever the vet calls you. I told Casey, at least I'll know those two little schnauzers aren't sleeping on that cold concrete floor that night. They'll be in a warm cage at the vet's office. And I really didn't think the little black dog could possibly survive surgery. I mean, I have never seen anything so skinny. I mean, just, you could see its ribs, its hip bones, horribly. And, but I wanted them. I mean, I lived in a house and I could have had those dogs. I had a yard. I wanted them. And so I paid the adoption fee. And then when the vet called for me to pick them up, my goodness, that little dog survived the surgery. The vet told me she had the worst case of ear mites in a dog that they had ever seen. She had some problems, but they treated her. Took them home. The little black dog was named Gracie. Sweetest dog in the world. Every time we fed her, she would jump in my lap and give me kisses all over. And I know she was saying, thank you for feeding me. I really believe that's what she was doing. She was saying, thank you for letting me have food. The little silver dog, gray dog, we named Lucy. And we soon realized why she was at animal control. We could not keep her in the fence. I had a chain link fence. And where I live, it's kind of the desert situation. A lot of sand and dirt. I had grass growing, but it wasn't lush or anything. That dog could dig out under the fence before I knew it. And at that house, I had a doggy door, so the dogs could go outside anytime they wanted to during the day. I locked it at night. But anyway, that little dog would slip out, dig under the fence, and be gone. We hunted her down and hunted her down. And when she would dig out and go, Gracie would stay in the yard, the little black dog that was starved, and she would bark like crazy. And I always thought, she's telling them, don't run off. There's no food out there. They're not going to feed you. But, I mean, I didn't have Lucy but maybe a week or two. And she'd gotten out another time. And we weren't home. I don't know where we were. But she'd gotten dug out from under the fence. And she had a dog tag on. And so this man hit her accidentally. He ran over her and killed her. He called the number off the dog tag and told him that he had accidentally hit this dog and killed it. He didn't mean to. And so he didn't know who it belonged to. So he took it and buried it. But he took the dog collar off and so he could call this vet. And then the vet called me. So that's what happened to Lucy. But Gracie, I didn't have her for a real long time, a couple of years, maybe. A couple of years. And then my next door neighbor raised Dobermans. They had like 3 Dobermans and somebody poisoned them. Wasn't me. Somebody poisoned their Dobermans. And then one morning when I woke up, Gracie was obviously sick and she just got worse and worse. And so as we lived about, I don't know, real close to a vet's office, just several blocks. Casey and I scooped her up. By then she was bleeding and ran her to the vet's office. And they said, do you have rat poisoning out where the dogs could get to it? And I said, no, I don't have rat poisoning or any kind of poisoning. And she said, well, that's what it looks like because she's bleeding. And that's what rat poisoning does, makes them bleed out. So they put her on an IV and they were going to do everything they could to save her. But she passed away at the vet's office. She was the little dog when I got out of the mental hospital and I was just in really bad shape. That was the little dog that would stay in my lap, where she would not be away from me. And I would just pet her and pet her 24 hours a day. I mean, that's all I did was pet that little black schnauzer. I loved that girl. Oh, she was a sweet dog and cute. She stayed real little. After we fattened her up, she was still a little bitty dog and she was precious. But anyway, that's what happened to my next 2 schnauzers. This is up to 14 minutes. I'm going to stop now. Okay, guys, what's going on in your life? Tell me, leave me a message down there and tell me what's going on. We had snow this week. Friday, it was very drizzly, and then it turned to sleet, and then it turned into the biggest snowflakes. It was very pretty watching it come down. It didn't accumulate because it melted as soon as it hit the ground, but it was pretty while it was snowing. It was gorgeous. We get snow in Amarillo. Seldom a year goes by that we don't get snow. I think last year, maybe it was last year we didn't get any, but we always have snow. We're the coldest portion of Texas. I live up in the Panhandle in the top. And so we frequently get snow. I saw on, I don't know if it was CNN or something else on when I turn on my phone, some man had written an article about Amarillo, Texas saw snow this week. Like it was a very rare thing. We get snow, but it was a pretty snow. Today it got up to like, I think 63. It's not a real hot day, but we had that one cold, dreary day where it drizzled and sleet and snow. And then that was 2 days ago. Yesterday and today have been in the mid-60s and sunshiny and really nice. But it made us realize, oh, winter is coming. We better find our hats and gloves and coats and dog sweaters and all that kind of stuff. Okay, guys, I will try to make more videos this week than I did last week. I'll think of something to tell you. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you leaving me comments so I can visit with you. Okay, talk to you later. Bye-bye.